thanks for staying with us. Customs seized trucks of rice worth millions of naira along the nation's borderline. Also on Customs report, Customs continue to seize trucks from smugglers operating within the port. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Etinye. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to increase the delivery drive of the customs in the country.
The Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, CGC Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, has provided a comprehensive update on the enforcement activities of the Nigerian Customs Service. Adeniyi, while reeling out enforcement activities of NCS at the press conference held on Wednesday, 16 October 2024, disclosed that on August 8, 2024, the Nigerian Customs Service, in collaboration with main partners, the Wildlife Justice Commission, conducted a joint enforcement operation resulting in the seizure of 9,493 tons of pangolin scales.
A good place for me to start would be our efforts to combat wildlife trafficking. Our recent operations have yielded significant results in combating the illegal trade of endangered species. The first one, on the 8th of August 2024, Nigeria Customs Service, in collaboration with our main partners, the Wildlife Justice Commission, conducted a joint enforcement operations resulting in the seizure of 9,493 kilograms of pangolin scales. These operations, carried out in two separate locations, represent the largest seizure of pangolin scales globally since January 2020. The operation carried out in Kano and Kaduna, that's the second one, yielded 2,293 tons of pangolin scales, and also we made 2 arrests during the operations.
A related international case, CGC Adewale Adeniyi disclosed that Nigerian customs have made substantial progress in an investigation linked to a shipment from Onne Port, Port Harcourt, which was intercepted at Hai Phong Port, Vietnam. He said the shipment contained 1,580 kilograms of elephant tusk, adding that 3 individuals, including agents and sellers connected to the illegal export, have been arrested. CGC Adeniyi also highlighted pharmaceutical seizures made in ongoing efforts to curb the importation of illicit and potentially harmful pharmaceuticals, which have yielded significant results.
I'm happy to inform you that we have successfully prosecuted all the major collaborators that are involved in that particular seizure. Now, since all the major actors are behind bars, we have now taken the decision to finally put closure to that particular seizure by transferring the seized arms and ammunition to the National Center for the Controls of Light Weapons. And this will be done in the days ahead. We are going to let you know. Also, of particular concern to us is the alarming rise in wildlife trafficking, which not only threatens our biodiversity, but also threatens Nigeria's international reputation. The illegal trade in endangered species, especially pangolin scales, has positioned Nigeria as a key transit point in the global wildlife trafficking network. This illicit trade decimates our natural heritage, fuels transnational criminal networks, as well as undermines our national security and economic stability. The embarrassment caused by these activities on the global stage is indeed very, very significant, potentially impacting our diplomatic relations and economic partnerships. It is imperative that we address these issues with the most urgency and commitment.
Reveals that on 15 October 2024 at Kachi Cares Resources Terminal, the customs examined a 40-foot container number SUDU 8579006 declared to contain kitchenware, and upon inspection uncovered a concealment of 1,584 cartons of Bacardine cough syrup for throat and chesty cough with codeine, totaling 158,483 bottles, 100 milligram each. This discovery, according to him, highlights the sophisticated methods employed by smugglers to bypass controls.
These we face are quite formidable. Unscrupulous elements still seek to exploit our current economic situation and engage in smuggling activities that threaten the very fabric of our society. From arms and ammunition to narcotics, from restricted pharmaceuticals to staple food, and even to our perilous fuel resources. The spectrum of illicit trade is vast and varied. What is even more disturbing is the fact that these activities have been linked to clusters of criminal networks that seek to cause harm to Nigerians. The scale and sophistication of these illicit activities are quite alarming. You will recall that we had a major seizure of arms in 2019. Part of the things we have done is to let Nigerians know that every criminal element or every criminal activities would have their consequences.
Further, that between May 2023 and August 2024, the Nigerian Customs Service recorded 48 seizures of restricted pharmaceuticals and medicaments. During the same period, they also intercepted 119 shipments of narcotics and Indian hemp, just as he disclosed the seizure of a total of 7,155 bags of 50 kilograms foreign parboiled rice with 3,235 bags recently confiscated along the Erekiti waterside, Seme Road, and Ogun State border areas alone.
Our country has faced unprecedented challenges in a bid to deliver the dividend of democracy and good governance under the visionary leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Customs, in alignment with the administration's progressive policies, has adopted fresh approach towards fulfilling our mandate of balancing revenue collection, facilitating trade, and ensuring compliance with the relevant laws. We have moved from a reactive and ensuring compliance with the relevant laws. We have moved from a reactive stance to a proactive enforcement-driven approach to one that balances compliance facilitation with robust security measures. Our new strategy is multifaceted, focusing on consolidating previous gains, fostering unprecedented collaboration with stakeholders, and integrating cutting-edge innovations into our operations. We are rewriting the book on revenue collection, trade facilitation, and regulatory compliance, while strengthening our role as the vanguard against societal threats. This evolution in our roles aims to serve the best interests of Nigeria, especially in these times of economic adjustments, where our citizens grapple with inflationary pressures triggered by efforts to manage exchange rate challenges. We now lean more towards persuasion rather than punishment, employing our soft power over hardline tactics. This strategy is necessary considering the current realities faced by Nigerians. However, I want to emphasize that our resolve to protect Nigerians' border and interests remains ironclad. We are more repositioned more than ever before to adopt a more carrot-oriented approach in carrying out our operations rather than the usual hardline approach.
Seizures and interceptions, according to him, are some of the results of new strategies and the dedication of officers. The customs boss warns those who may persist in the nefarious activities that the NCS, in collaboration with other security agencies, is more determined than ever before to bring the full weight of the law upon them, and assured law-abiding citizens and legitimate traders of the Nigerian Customs Service's commitment to facilitating lawful trade and protecting the nation's economy to ensure that Nigeria remains safe.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Zone B, Federal Operation Units in Kaduna, said that the Nigerian Customs Service will always look at the areas to help the Nigerian government to grow. He was speaking in Kaduna on the role of customs in addressing climate change in the world.
The Customs Area Controller of Federal Operations Unit Zone B of Nigerian Customs Service, Comptroller Ahmadu Bello Shaibu, presented a pivotal paper on the role of Nigerian Customs Service in mitigating the pressing issue of climate change in Nigeria in October 2024 at a three-day retreat held at the National Teachers Institute, NTI, Kaduna. The retreat, with the theme Youth Involvement in Tackling Climate Change in Our Community, was jointly organized by the Red Cross Kaduna North Division in collaboration with the Nigerian Customs Service, Federal Operations Unit, Zone B, Kaduna, from the 6th to the 9th of October 2024 as part of its Corporate Social Responsibility Initiative. In his presentation, Comptroller Ahmadu Bello Shaibu highlighted the critical role the Nigerian Customs Service can play as a signatory to several multilateral environmental agreements (MEAs) in addressing climate change, while emphasizing the importance of collaborative efforts among stakeholders, support of renewable energy initiatives, promotion of sustainable trade practices, and combating wildlife trafficking as means of combating prevailing global climate challenge. Comptroller Ahmadu Bello Shaibu's address underscored the Nigerian Customs Service's commitment to environmental sustainability and its dedication to contributing to the nation's climate change mitigation strategies, drawing attention to the devastating impacts of climate change on Nigeria's ecosystem as evidenced in rising temperatures, erratic rainfall patterns, and increased frequency in extreme weather events.
Economic diversification. When you hear that, I'm going to say, how will I promote livelihood and economic diversification? As a public servant, I depend solely on my salary. It will not take me anywhere. But if I go to a farm, an ant farm, and empower my wife to go into business, I'm diversifying. Is that not? Salary alone cannot take you to the promised land. You cannot rely solely on one job or income. Diversification is needed. Once you are true to yourself, once you hold your appointments, you do your job with your teeth and nails, and be ready to help fellow beings, you will see success coming your way. And of course, as I did say from the beginning, cooperation. The foreigners, the advanced countries, they are the worst corporates, emitting smoke into the orbit. And that one equally depletes the environment. Equally, here in Nigeria, these type of things that have been brought in, that is why you see government banning importation of used fridges and their compressors, because they equally contribute to environmental hazards.
Furthermore, in his presentation, Comptroller Ahmadu Bello Shaibu highlighted the challenges in mitigating the effects of climate change in Nigeria, which includes lack of effective climate change policy and legislation, inadequate institutional framework and coordination, dependence on fossil fuel and oil export, high level of poverty, deforestation, and land degradation, limited public awareness and education on climate change, among others. Tracker.
Nigeria Customs Service, a creation of law. The law we now use that gives us all the powers is Custom Act 2023. And mandate is revenue generation, anti-smuggling, facilitation of trade, that facilitation of genuine trade, as well as national security. And customs service is knowledge-driven, is intelligence-based. And Nigeria Customs Service belongs to the World Customs Organization, where all countries' custom administrations meet to decide on what should be done to facilitate genuine trade, to ensure that all these agreement reached to protect the environment, to protect the ozone layer is carried out. And mind you, both drugs are all part of what we do. Since these drugs hand over to relevant agencies, because we are the first point of entry, so we have the capacity as a service, and as a nation we have the resources to checkmate illegality.
End of the three-day retreat, the organizers and participants joined forces to plant trees in order to underscore their... At the end of the three-day retreat, the organizers and participants joined forces to plant trees in order to underscore their commitment to environmental sustainability and climate change mitigation. Above all, the Nigerian Customs Service, Federal Operations Unit, Zone B, Kaduna, and the Red Cross Kaduna North Division demonstrated total commitment to environmental stewardship and community engagement. This initiative marks a significant step towards Nigeria's quest to address the pressing challenges posed by climate change.
You are watching the program Customs Report. Apapa Port is the nation's premier port in the country. The Customs Management has been collecting huge revenue from the port since inception. The third quarter of this year has seen a great revenue drive from the port in Nigeria.
The Apapa Port Command of Nigerian Customs Service has collected 1,610,906,781,421 naira 82 kobo as at the end of the third quarter of 2024, which is higher than 1,172,414,793,960 naira 32 kobo that was collected as total revenue of the year 2023. Customs Area Controller for the Command, Comptroller Babatunde Olomu, FSI, who described the feat as a fallout of diligence and integrity, said the command will continually engage with stakeholders to improve on the revenue collection achievements and reduce smuggling recorded to the command's credit. He identified the 201.8 billion naira collected in July 2024 and 193.9 billion naira in September 2024 as spectacular figures capable of being replicated in the last quarter of the year, beginning from October. Comptroller Olumu said the various trade facilitation programs put in place by the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashiru Adewale Adeniyi MFR, like advance ruling, time release study, and authorized economic operator AEO, are being dutifully implemented for the overall benefit of the nation's economy.
Well, the CGC has always believed that an efficient, motivating system is very key towards the attainment of our organizational goals, and this was why we keyed into it, and we felt it's very important to recognize officers who had distinguished themselves one way or the other as far as the performance of various responsibilities is concerned. This will be the second series in the recognition. We have given us a command to officers since my coming on board, and this had really gone a long way in ensuring that healthy rivalry is being ensured among our officers and men, as well as efforts towards the attainment of our revenue targets. And this was why we felt it's very important we recognize those of them that we have found to be worthy of recognition. We have an award committee which had brought forward names of officers, men that justify and merit this recognition. We have officers of the month, those who have distinguished themselves as regards the generation of revenue, those who have made very significant contributions to the revenue targets of the command, those who are very hardworking and had proven to be exemplary in the conduct of their duties, those who have been seen to be up and doing their various bits, as well as those who appear very neatly within the month under review. So these are officers which we felt it's very important to recognize them, and this is exactly what we have done, and it has significantly assisted towards the attainment of our organizational goals.
While commending officers of the command for their achievement in revenue collection relying on diligent examination and uncompromising interventions through issuance of demand notices where and when necessary, the area comptroller reiterated the CGC's zero tolerance for smuggling. Command, according to the CAC, shall continually engage with all stakeholders to sustain the rising level of compliance which has resulted in reduced smuggling in the area. He said the strict monitoring of cargoes, constant profiling of port users, sensitization of stakeholders, and in-house training and retraining of customs officers have jointly contributed to the almost zero level of smuggling in recent times. The CAC urged all port users in Apapa to avail themselves of the services of the dispute resolution team to resolve all areas of uncertainty while reassuring licensed customs agents, freight forwarders, importers, exporters, and haulage operators of the command's readiness to assist at all times. He thanked sister government agencies for their support and stated that the command will always leverage on its relationship with them to share intelligence against criminal elements, do joint examinations in line with extant standard operating procedures, SOPs, and promote compliance at all times.
Plugging revenue leakages, that had been the major source of most of this revenue which we had reported. We've also said it that it's not that the cargo throughput had increased, it hasn't. It has even reduced drastically. And we've seen a monthly reduction when you compare with the corresponding periods last year, July, last year, August. we've seen over 3,000 declarations reduction. So, however, we're able to plug leakages and to ensure maximum payment of revenue to the coffers of government, and this had assisted towards what you are seeing today.
While noting that the revenue collection is good and they can do better with more impressive results in the last quarter of 2024, it thanks stakeholders for their cooperation and maintains that reduced smuggling activities is a testament to affirm the compliance being celebrated. Comptroller Olomu disclosed that as trade facilitation is being done, anti-smuggling activities are going on side by side, leveraging on non-intrusive technology for cargo scanning and physical examination when necessary. He also stated that these standards and procedures are strictly adhered to in all bonded terminals under his area's control.
The further pushing in Zone A has smashed a syndicate that specializes in smuggling rice into the country through the unapproved route. The rice is worth millions of naira. It also impounded rice worth millions of naira for smugglers who don't want to pay the right duty to government, even though rice is banned from coming into the country through the unapproved route. A total of 6 trucks of rice has been impounded by the customs along the nation's borderline. The controller said that the intercepted goods worth millions of naira and nobody was shot in the process of impounding.
It's based on credible intelligence we got that some people are moving, they were trying to move thousands of bags of rice into the country, smuggling. So based on that credible intelligence provided by a source, I called my aides and we strategized, and I personally led the team. And here's the result. It's true that we always observe rules of engagement. And this entails ensuring that no casualty is recorded anytime we are carrying out our operation. As you can see, the quantum of these seizures, they are from various entry points from Republic of Benin into the country.
On the issue of arrest of the smugglers, he has this to say.
We decided to commence an operation we call Swift Sting. Operation Swift Sting Operation. Swift Sting, that's the code name. And that's what we have started with this. We are not relying on our efforts. We are going to see more by God's grace. The point is, they just have to stop. If they don't stop, we will not stop too until we bring them down on their knees.
Said further that the customs will continue to patrol the nation's borderline every second of the day. Anyone caught smuggling will be arrested alongside with the consignment.
That contain items under seizure 1 of the above list will today be handed over to Nigerian Environmental Standards and Regulatory Enforcement Agency, NESRA, as directed by the Controller General of Customs. While the arms and ammunition are under critical investigation before normal handing over to the appropriate authority. However, a total of 3 suspects were detained and in respect of these seizures and have been granted administrative bail. Stakeholders engagement. Since my assumption of office, I have prioritized the command's relationship with all our stakeholders by strengthening the existing cordial relationships sustained over the years. This is applicable to both government and private sector stakeholders. This is in line with the concept of constant stakeholder engagements for maximum cooperation, engendering peace, harmony, and trade facilitation. My interactions with importers, licensed custom agents, freight forwarders, and terminal operators have contributed greatly to the harmonious operations you see in the command. We shall continually build on this to promote the overall objectives of the federal government. The constant engagement with our host, PTML, and Grimaldi management on the need to diversify their operations has resulted in their expansion to the Far East by opening up their office in Shanghai, China. Currently, goods, mainly rural vehicles, are being shipped from China to Nigeria. This will subsequently result in increased revenue collection for Nigerian Customs Service as time goes by. Our capacity to handle more rural cargoes is supported by the command's track record of efficiency, which has been severally demonstrated through timely clearance of automobiles and other cargoes. On this note, we want to sincerely express our deep appreciation to the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, and his entire management team for their support, encouragement, and inspiring leadership, giving us direction and guiding us aright. Gentlemen of the press, while I'm thankful for your support for the command at all times, let me also state that our sister government agencies have been part of our operational success story. Since my assumption of this office as Custom Area Controller of PTML Command, I have been enjoying cordial relationship with all government agencies here, and would like to commend our compliant private sector stakeholders in the port for their collaboration and synergy. This also goes to our officers and men of PTML Command, the CIU, the PCA, the evaluation, inclusive, for all their determining resilience and professionalism in discharging their duties.
Just before I round up this week edition of the program, Custom Support, we brought a report where the contract job that Nigerian Customs Service has continued to implement all measures to make sure that Nigerian Customs Service continue to improve our revenue generation for the country and also sees all consignment or approved also by the government. For me, Igiseme Engineer, thanks for watching.